Notre Dame versus Ohio State on Saturday night in South Bend, Indiana. This is a Week 4 matchup. Ohio State's favored by 3 points in this one, and I'll just go ahead and tell you straight up. I think the wrong team is favored. I think a lot of people are associating the rankings, as usual, especially this season, though, with teams of the past. And I think the AP poll just obviously don't know what they're doing. I do think both of these teams are top 10. However, I think they are kind of putting teams based on hype and based on who they were in the past and things of that nature. And I don't think their rankings are accurate. I don't think Vegas is accurate. I like Notre Dame in this one. Ohio State's a 3 point favorite. But again, I think this is a game where ultimately Notre Dame just is the better team right now as it stands. Now, if this game was played in week 7, 8, 9, I may have a total different read on it, kind of like Alabama and Texas 2 weeks ago. But that's not the case. These guys are playing in week number 4, and ultimately there can only be one guy that comes out on top. Now, in my opinion, that team is going to be Notre Dame. Notre Dame is converting a good amount of their third down conversions. I think it's like 50 something percent, if I'm not mistaken. It's good enough for 10th in the country. Ohio State, on the other hand, 93rd. They are converting 30 something, 35%, somewhere in that range. Not good, not where you want to be. Flip that to the defensive side of the ball. Pretty even across the board. Notre Dame is number 28 in third down conversion percentage defensively, and Ohio State is number 35. Now, the big thing to note in this one is Ohio State didn't truly have a starting quarterback declared until last week when they played Western Kentucky, where they beat the hell out of Western Kentucky. Congratulations, it's Western Kentucky. All they do is throw the ball. If you can stop the throw and stop the passing, you're going to win the game, and that's exactly what they did. Now, Ohio State did play really well. I'll give you that. But you struggled against Youngstown State and you struggled against Indiana. Those are two teams that, in my opinion, you should have took care of business of if you're the Ohio State you need to be. Now, again, guys, this is not me dogging Ohio State for who they are in Week 10, Week 11, in the big game against Michigan at the end of the year. This is Week 4 Ohio State. They could still evolve into a much better team, just like Alabama could. Alabama's really down in the dumps right now. Notre Dame, however, better team going into this week. They've been consistent throughout. Now, they did play Navy in week number 1. Woohoo, it's Navy. Consistency. Tennessee State the next week at home, very consistent. North Carolina State at NC State. You started off very slow. It was your true first road game of the season. NC State has a top-tier defense. Always has, always will, as long as their D coordinator is there. That's just who they are built on. A very good defense that Sam Hartman's played against 3 times, and I think he's 1-2 against. 2-2 now. That's just how they turn tables. Then you got Central Michigan last week, another pretty decent team. They just coasted through that. That's what you want to see at this point in the season. They played 4 games in a row, and it's all been consistent. Now, again, Ohio State is 3 point favorite. But when I go to pick who I want to pick, there's a couple things I factor in. If you look at my video last week, my system play is you want to take teams that pick up big road wins and then come home. You want to fade them. You want to take the other team. Look at Wyoming last week, Central Michigan last week, things like that. That's typically who you want to play. That doesn't factor in here. You want good offense versus bad defense. Doesn't factor in here. So all the system plays are kind of out. This is just more gut feeling and who you think is going to win and why. Turnover margin, Notre Dame's +3, Ohio State's +2. Even across the board. Sacks allowed, 1 per game. Sacks, defensive sacks, I think Ohio State's at 1.75 and Notre Dame's at 1.5, something like that. These teams are very freaking even. It's going to be one hell of a football game. Now, Notre Dame is going to win for 2 reasons. One is the consistency that I mentioned. Number 2, you've just got the better quarterback. I cannot bet against Sam Hartman when in my opinion, he's the 3rd best quarterback in college football as it stands at this moment. Yes, I'm putting him over Shadur. Yes, I'm putting him over Spencer Rattler, whatever. I've got Caleb Williams, I've got Drake May, and I've got Sam Hartman. That's just the nature of things. Now, just look at, when you look at stats can be deceiving. Kyle McCord's only got 23 incompletions. Well, Sam Hartman's only got 26. Sam Hartman, 1,061 yards. McCord, 815. He's He's played one more game. Touchdowns, 6 touchdowns to 13 touchdowns. McCord split reps. Hartman's got one more game. It's not about that. Ohio State, the way they play their offense, when they've gone up against good teams in the past, look at Michigan the last 2 years, good defensive teams with a good enough offense, they've struggled. I don't think this is any different. I think Ohio State is going to meet a good defensive front for NC State, or for Notre Dame. When Notre Dame played NC State had a pretty good offense as well. And they still held their own with them. Now, that game was ugly. It was sloppy. You had like an hour and a half, 2 hour long rain delay. It was a very weird game. But ultimately, Notre Dame pulled it out. I think they do the same here on Saturday. I like the Irish. I like the Irish at home. Home dogs in prime time. Feed me that all day. Go Irish. Let me know in the comment section how you guys see this game playing out. Do you take it Ohio State -3, or you're taking Notre Dame? Might as well take the money line, in my opinion. I don't think they lose by 3 or less. So let me know in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week.